Quirky Books with Katie. Today I'm going to be doing my April wrap-up video and my May TBR. So in April, I read 13 books, if you count the book that I'm reading right now, which I'll probably end up finishing in May. So let's get started. I'm going to say the books that I read and give a short little summary of what happens and what I thought of the book. First book that I read in April was Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. This was another angel book. I wasn't too fond of it. It amused me because it was really weird. That's the only word I can really think of to describe it. Was weird. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. I might read the sequel. We'll see, because my TBR pile grows every day. The next book that I read was Wither by DeStefano. This is the first book in the Chemical Garden series. I had very mixed feelings about this book. I absolutely adored the writing style. The descriptions and everything were just gorgeous. And it was really, really creepy, which I liked. But I think otherwise it was very lacking and it was kind of just a typical dystopian. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I hadn't read really any contemporary in a while before this book, so I really enjoyed it. It perfectly captured the feeling of summer. It was very cute. The next book I read after that was 20 Boy Summer by Sarah Ockler. And I absolutely adored this book to no end. It was just gorgeous. It was about this girl, and she was in love with her best friend's brother, and then he died in a car crash, and she kind of has to deal with it, except the twist is that no one knew that they were together. And this book was just so gorgeous. It has so many questions that can be applied to real life, and I absolutely loved it. I gave that book 5 out of 5 stars. After that was, I think, my only reread in the month of April, and that is Shatter Me by Tahereh, Mafi. I liked this book. I mean, it was good. I didn't really like it any better the second time around. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars because I absolutely adore her writing style. After that, I read Unravel Me, which is the second book in the Shatter Me series, and I thought it was so much better than Shatter Me. I thought that the plot was good, the writing was amazing as always, and the love interest got a lot better. Team Warner, yeah. And I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. 2 5 out of 5 star ratings in a row. For me, it just like never happened. So April was a good reading month, I will say. After that, I read Spiritbound and Last Sacrifice, which are books 5 and 6 of the Vampire Academy series. I have my review of the series. I will link it down below. Spiritbound was decent. I mean, it kind of just went on with the story, but I absolutely adored Last Sacrifice. It was my favorite book of the series, and I thought it really closed it together well, and I'm very excited for the movie, which comes out on February 14th of next year. After that, I read The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I give this book 5 out of 5 stars. It was a very interesting dystopian post-apocalyptic, and I have a review of this, but it had another cliffhanger ending. Darn you authors who love to give me cliffhanger endings. I personally love cliffhanger endings. I just do not love waiting a year for the next book to come out. This one comes out in November, and it's called Never Fade, so I'm very excited for that. After that, I read This Is What Happy Looks Like by Jennifer E. Smith. This was a very cute contemporary as well. It's about this girl who kind of emails a celebrity without him knowing, and then he comes to visit her, and they find out he's a celebrity. And I really like the cute emails in this book. Another good contemporary. I read a lot of contemporaries in April. I'm not usually the biggest fan of contemporary, but I find that now I've kind of been getting more into the genre now that we're getting closer to summer, and I just need a lot of light, fluffy reads to get me through the rest of the school year. Next, I read Sweet Evil by Wendy Higgins. This was just another angel book, and honestly, this one just annoyed me because I thought it was going somewhere. It was boring at the beginning, then it got better, and then it just took a complete dive off a cliff. I really did not like this book. I know it has a lot of good reviews. I just was not the biggest fan because the only thing I really liked was the romance in this book, and the rest was just really lacking. So I gave this book 2 out of 5 stars. I read The Moon and More by Sarah Dessen, and this is an arc from Penguin Teen. And Sarah Dessen is one of my favorite contemporary authors, or an author's period. And this was another great book by her. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The last book on my April wrap-up is the book I'm currently reading, which is Dark Triumph by LaFevers. This is the second book in the My Fair Assassin trilogy. I absolutely adore Grave Mercy, which is the first book in the series, and so far I'm on page 100 of this book. It was really confusing at first because it took me a while to really get back into the story, but now that I have, I'm very interested to see where this is going to go. Now I'm going to do my May TBR. There's 10 books that I plan to, or more than 10 probably, books that I plan to read in May. I don't know how many I'll actually get to though, because I have a AP testing and I'm finishing up the school year, so I'll probably have a lot of work. So we'll see which of these books I'll actually get to. First is Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wein. I know this book is about World War II and it has been getting a ton of great reviews in the booktube community. I know Liz from eLizzie Books said that this is one of the best books she's read this year. Next is Eleanor in Park by Rainbow Rowell. This is another book that has been getting great reviews, and it is a nice romance. I think I actually might read this book next. If you guys want to see reviews of any of these, just let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to review any of them. Next is Fixing Delilah by Sarah Ockler. Sarah Ockler is a great writer. I really like her contemporaries, and I think this is the only one of hers that I have not read yet, and her newest book actually comes out this month, so I will have to pick that one up as well. Next is The Girl of Fire and Thorns by Ray Carson. This is another book that has been raved about. I'm not really sure what these books are about. I haven't had too much time to do research, but it looks good. Next is Graceling by Kristin Cashore. This book has been getting so many good reviews. I think it has just been optioned for a movie, and Heather from Heather's Book Reviews said really liked this book when she reviewed it, so I decided to pick it up. Next on my TBR is Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder. So many people have told me to read this book, so many, and I finally got around to picking it up. Hopefully I actually read it. I think this one's kind of lowered down towards the pile because it seems interesting, but it's not something that I would normally pick up. Books on my TBR include Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I know a lot of people have raved about this one as well. And Icons by Margaret Stoll is also on my list. Those of you that don't know, Margaret Stoll wrote the Beautiful Creatures series with Cami Garcia, and I am a fan of that series, so I wanted to see what she was going to do next. My only rereads in May should be Star-Crossed and Dreamless. Both are by Josephine Angelini. These are books 1 and 2 in the Star-Crossed series. And for those of you that don't know, Star-Crossed is one of my all-time favorite series. I love it so much. It is a great series for those of you guys that love Greek mythology. So good, and I'm really interested to see where it goes next because right now we're in the middle of the dastardly love triangle. So thank you guys for watching my video. If you want to see me do reviews of any of these books, just let me know in the comments below. So thanks guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you again soon.